Hello, Robin, the PMP. Today what we're going to do is we are going to take your 2021 ECO for the PMP exam. We're going to take the new domain, that's your process domain, and we're going to map that back to your 49 processes. Let's go. Task 1 on the new exam. Evaluate project with the urgency required to deliver business value. Assess opportunities to deliver value incrementally. That is new. It was not on the 2020 exam. Examine the business value throughout the project. That's task 4.1 and 4.2 from the previous exam. Task 4.1 and 4.2 were both in monitoring and controlling. And support the teams to subsidize project tasks as necessary. So let's talk now about our 49 processes. This would be a review of monitor and control project work for all processes, scope to stakeholders. You're going to perform your integrated change control and other associated scope planning processes. What I'm doing is I'm telling you how it maps back to the 49 processes. We're not talking about new content. We're only talking about how to map back from your current exam to the exam that you may have ended up studying for, which, if you're like so many of us, your 2020 exam. Let's now do Manage Communications, Task 2. Analyze communication needs of all stakeholders. Former exam, that's task 2.6 and 3.6. Determine communication methods, channels, frequency, and level of detail for all stakeholders. This takes us to 2.6 and 3.6 again. Communicate project information and updates effectively. 3.6. Confirm communication is understood and feedback is received. Again, 3.6 from our 49 processes. If you remember from previous videos, a 2 stands for planning, 3 stands for executing. So from our processes, we've got our plan, communications management, manage communications, manage stakeholder engagement, and other associated processes. Let's do task 3. Assess and manage risks. Determine risk management options. 1.4, 2.10, 3.5. Iteratively assessed and prioritized risks. That's 4.4. So in this, we're looking at initiating, planning, executing, and monitoring control. We're looking at 4 of our domains. Develop your project charter, plan risk management, identify risks, perform qualitative risk analysis, perform the quantitative risk analysis, plan risk responses, implement risk responses, direct and manage project work, control risk, risk audit, and your risk reassessment. Task 4 on the new exam. Analyze stakeholders, e.g. the power and influence grid, their influence and impact. That's on the previous exam, task 1.3 and task 2.6. Categorize your stakeholders. Again, that's 1.3. And engage stakeholders by category. That's 1.3. And that is identify stakeholders and plan communication management. Task 5 on the new exam. Plan and manage budget and resources. Estimate budgetary needs based on the scope of the project and lessons learned from past projects. 2.3. Anticipate further budget challenges. 2.3. Monitor budget variations and work governance process to adjust as necessary. 4.1. Plan and manage resources. 2.3, 2.5. for our 49 processes. Plan scope management along with other associated scope planning processes. Plan resource management, monitor and control project work, all of the controlling processes from scope to stakeholders. Let's take a look at task 6. Plan and manage schedule. Estimate project tasks, your milestones, your dependencies, your story points. Former exam 2.3, 2.4. Utilize benchmarks and historical data. 2.1. Prepare schedule based on methodology. 2.4. Measure ongoing progress based on methodology. 3.2. Modify schedule as needed based on methodology. 3.4. Coordinate with other projects and operations. This is the task. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. My recorder is blocking me. Here we go. This is your processes for plan scope management and other associated scope planning processes. Plan cost management with, of course, other associated cost planning processes. Develop schedule with other associated processes. Direct and manage project work. Develop project team. Manage project team. Associated with manage quality. Manage quality assurance if you studied PMBOK 5. Direct and manage project work. With is your associated perform change control, control quality, and then if you're not familiar with the PMBOK mainline, get familiar with your PMBOK mainline. That's going to greatly help you. All right, task 7. Plan and manage quality of products and deliverables. Determine quality standard required for project deliverables. That's 2.8. Recommend options for improvement based on quality gaps. That's 3.3. Continually survey project deliverable quality. That's 4.3. That takes us from a 49 processes standpoint to our plan procurement management, our manage quality, control quality, inspection, and quality tools. Task 8. Plan and manage scope. Determine and prioritize requirements. That's 2.1. Break down scope, your WBS, your backlog. 2.2. Monitor and validate scope. That's 4.1 and 5.1. That takes us to our 49 processes. Collect requirements, define scope, plan scope management, and other associated scope planning processes. Acquire team, develop team, manage team, conduct procurements, associated plan procurement management, and plan resource management. So it's associated with that. Validate scope and close project or phase. Task 9. Integrate project planning activities. Consolidate the project or phase plans. 2.11. Assess consolidated project plans for dependency gaps and continued business value. 1.2, 2.1. Analyze the data collected. 4.1. Collect and analyze data to make informed project decisions. 4.1. Determine critical information requirements. 2.6. And going back to our 49 processes, let me move this down just a little bit, is develop your project management plan. Develop your project charter. Collect requirements. Define scope. Plan communications management. Monitor and control project work and all controlling processes scope to stakeholders. Task 10. Manage project changes. Anticipate and embrace the need for change. Follow change management practices. 4.2. Determine strategy to handle the change. 2.9. Execute change management strategy according to methodology. 3.4. Determine a change response to move the project forward. 3.4. Your 49 processes equates to develop your project management plan, direct and manage project work. This is associated with perform integrated change control and control quality, your PMBOK mainline, and perform integrated change control and other associated scope planning processes. Task 11. Plan and manage procurement. Define resources and define resource requirements and needs. 2.5, 2.7. Communicate resource requirements. 2.5, 2.7. Manage suppliers and contracts. That's 3.1. Plan and manage procurement strategy. 2.7. Develop a delivery solution. That's 1.5. Your 49 processes take us to develop the project charter, identify stakeholders, plan resource management, plan quality management, acquire team, develop team, manage team, conduct procurements, and associated plan procurement management and plan resource management. Let's do task 12. Manage your project artifacts. Determine the requirements, the what, the when, the where, the who for managing project artifacts. That's in 2.6. Validate that the project information is kept up to date, i.e. your version control and accessible to all stakeholders. That's 3.6. Continually assess the effectiveness and management of the project artifacts. That's 4.1, 4.5, and 4.6. Our 49 processes. Plan communication management, manage communication, manage stakeholder engagement, and other associated processes. Monitor and control project work. All the controlling processes scope to stakeholders, control stakeholder engagement, manage the project team and everything associated with that. All the monitoring and controlling processes, especially scope to stakeholders. Let's do one more task and then we will continue with a different video. Determine appropriate project methodology, methods, and practices. Assess project needs, complexity, and magnitude. 1.1. Recommend project execution strategy, contracting for finance. 1.1, 1.4. Recommend a project methodology approach. For example, predictive, agile, hybrid, that's new. Use iterative incremental practices throughout the project lifecycle. For example, your lessons learned, stakeholder engagement, and risk, that's new. This maps back to our 49 processes for the project selection methods, identify stakeholders, and develop your project charter. We will finish this on part 2 of this video. I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe.